welcome back. 15 minutes after 2, government through the Ministry of Information, Communications and Technology. They are in partnership with they are in a important partnership for this particular development. We talk now to Dr. Henry Count Evans on this development. Doctor, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for joining us. We are looking at this Udacity coding program here with really groundbreaking ambitions, so to speak, and surely has brought a lot of hope for a lot of our young people in the kingdom of Eswatini. But if you read about it and you really look what they are trying to do, one of the striking words there is that they are describing it as cutting edge and accessible. In your view, I want to ask, what would make this initiative genuinely transformative for Eswatini, and perhaps what could then limit its impact?
No, thank you, Sfiso, for the invitation. So I think it's an exciting time that we live in. I think especially for the young people, the people that are gradually moving into the workspace, those that are already there. So when you look at the recently launched program, I mean, I just tried to register earlier this week, and I can tell you that there is a lot of exciting opportunity there in terms of studying. So you have tech skills that are in demand now. Maybe as a background, we need to talk about why is this key now. We are living in a world where I think on the 31st of July, the World Bank was reporting that we do have quite significant skills mismatch. Universities and colleges are producing people that are not 100% good fit in terms of what industry needs. So this initiative, I think, comes at that time where we need to reskill and upskill most of our workforce, and the skills that have been taught from AI, programming, these are skills that industry needs at the moment. And there is an opportunity for young people to get skilled, reskilled, and be a fit that we need for economic growth and to revitalize industrial growth in the country. Yes.
You look at the UAE, it is pretty much, one of the benchmarks for artificial intelligence, for coding, especially right now, because they've really stood up to say they want to be global leaders amongst the best in the world. But we've also seen such partnerships elsewhere in Africa. Some have succeeded, some have fizzled. What do you think determines whether such programs are indeed sustainable in the long run?
So I think it's a number of factors, but the first one that is key for me is accessibility. So it's easy to access the course, it's easy to get access and request it from the provider, but is it going to be easy for everyone across the country? So we all live, yes, in this digital world, but we're at different skills levels. So those who have graduated from university and colleges at a different level from those who do not have requisite skills, entry-level skills, for example. That's number one in terms of the technical proficiency of the different individuals that need to benefit. The second one is the cost of data for anyone who wants to join this. So I find that one of the success factors has to be affordability of data. So if you want to do this and you're in a remote area, or if you're unemployed, or if your parents do not have substantial income to sustain your data purchases, that's an issue. So we need to be thinking about maybe how these courses could be zero-rated. Maybe we need corporate partnership to get zero-rated courses so that the young people, most of them are not employed. They do not have that luxury of buying expensive data packages. So that's an issue. The third one has to do with the technical resources. Do we have the laptops? So if you're going to code, you cannot code easily from a phone. You need good laptops, and that's a barrier on its own. So we need to have those investments in terms of gadgets that can sustain coding on, and it's not your entry-level laptop. So those are the issues that I think we need to look at. We need to try and see how those youths that begin to learn can be given that support in terms of the literacy, the data, and the resources they need to succeed.
I do want to ask, because you speak on a very important assertion when you speak about a zero-rated approach. I suppose that speaks to equity. We look at Eswatini and the way that we are structured right now. Access has been a key talking point, and we've seen, how the Minister for ICT has been quite keen on addressing that particular divide, the urban-rural divides that exist. How do we avoid a scenario outside of just, going with the zero-rated? What other strategies can we employ where these courses do not only serve a privileged minority with which, therefore, it reinforces inequality instead of reducing it?
That's a key issue. I think equality, all of us were worried about it. I think if I quite correct, I think we now have quite a number of internet service centers across the country. I think most of the Tinkundas now have internet access. So I think the government has gone that direction, which is noble, which is something that we appreciate. But do we need to do more? Yes, we need to maybe equip these centers with more advanced computing systems. And we need to make this accessible to the young people that live in the rural areas. But not just that, I think even in town, it's not easy to get a young person who has access to a decent laptop that's at a Core i5 and above. So we need to think of equity, not just in terms of urban, rural, but we do have quite substantial needs within urban areas themselves.
Another thing that worries me is the risk on brain drain. We are going to be successful training a generation of coders, and that's going to be beautiful, but we don't have necessarily enough local tech firms or industries that will absorb them. Do we then risk having to export all this important talent from this beautiful program to countries like South Africa or the UAE itself? And how can we make sure that that doesn't happen?
I think I see it differently. You see it as a risk, I see it as an opportunity. So if we're going to make sure that the local industry is sufficiently given the resources it needs, we have an opportunity to get our young people to work remotely, to move to these countries. And if you look at it positively, you're thinking of remittances. If we could have increased remittances where most of these individuals bring back into the country at least $400-500 a month, we are improving our forex reserves, and that's good for the country, it's good for our balance of trade. So yes, those are opportunities. I don't see them as risks, and I think we need to start thinking about that export as an initiative that works for the economy.
Doctor, I'm afraid we've run out of time. Hopefully we can expound on this conversation on other programs, hopefully, but this has been our time here for this particular development. It's very beautiful, the digital future for Eswatini. It looks really, really bright. Literally every month, if you pay attention, it seems as though there's a new development to really help, bolster our ICT sector. We just hope everything just comes into fruition, but the government is playing its part. We need the youth to wake up, as well as, give in some meaningful participation as well. And indeed, everything will be beautiful. Please stand by. After the break, the show continues.